Ready to harness the power of your communications data? Blast off with Nylas today.
Hello, and welcome to Coding with Nylas, the live stream where we talk about programming, APIs, and more. My name is Black, Senior Developer Advocate here at Nylas.
And my name is Ram, Developer Advocate at Nylas.
How are you today, Ram?
I am doing good. I'm always excited for our live streams on Wednesday. You have some exciting topics. Hopefully you don't mind some background noise, but I'll try to mute as much as possible.
It's all right, don't worry. Sometimes, Bleach, my dog is almost sometimes barking, also my son sometimes screaming, so that's fine.
Sounds good. How are you?
Yeah. So today is an exciting day. Today we're going to talk about how to create a terminal email client using Textual and Python. That has gathered a lot of attention on Twitter, so hopefully people are seeing us live. Feel free to drop any question that you have. Just go to the comments and we're going to see it, most likely. So first things first, why a terminal email client? Because why not? I mean, something that occurred to me that it would be nice to do. And I just want to be clear that this is really a proof of concept. It's just me playing around with cool technology. It's not something meant to be used in production or anything. Source code is going to be available on GitHub, but just it's not bulletproof or anything. So just wanted to make that clear. And we're using Textual from textualize.io, which is amazing. You're going to see it's really mind-blowing technology. I love the terminal, but what you can do with Textual is just amazing. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel, click subscribe, click the little bell so you get notified when we do a new live stream. We usually do it on Wednesday and Friday, but sometimes we take a little break. So just to make sure you're notified. So it's kind of like demo time. Let's jump and see how it actually looks like. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to run it here. So Python 3 email client. So it's going to load all my emails. You see here I have 5 only. And you can see that these 2 here I have already read because they're kind of white. And these 3 are green and bold because I haven't read them. And actually, you can see here I have the unread is false or true. So in order for this to work, I'm just going to press here on the first one. So a little bit of a click so I can have interaction with this. And okay, beautiful. Okay, there we go. Here I'm going to have, hey, any cool demos you can share. Green blacks from another place. Perfect. So that's one email. I can move now with my keyboard, go into the second one. I'm going to click. Another email. So now let's go to one that has been unread. So when I click on this, it's going to be on real time, send the notification to my Gmail account that this email has been actually read. So I'm going to press enter. And it's going to say Textual is an awesome Python library to create terminal applications. Try it out. So if I move up, and for some reason I didn't do it, let me press R to refresh. So I changed the logic like 5 minutes ago. So it should have been automatically, it should refresh itself. But you can see that I press R, I refreshed, and now this email is white because I have read it.
So just to clarify, anytime you read an email, it's just updating on the fly to show what's been read and what's unread.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And you're just using the commands open, R to refresh, and just enter to open the email?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So as I said, I changed something because supposedly when you are reading an email that you have already read, it shouldn't change kind of like the label if for the unread, for true or false. So I changed that so it only does that on the green ones. And after that, it should refresh itself. Something happened, not sure. But anyways, let's say we want to delete an email. So we actually don't want to grab lunch. So I'm going to press D to delete it. And we wait a little bit. And it looks like my change actually changed more than expected. Let's refresh. Okay, I need to read it first because it needs to kind of like send ID. Okay, I select it. Now I can delete it. So I press D. And okay, didn't delete it. Let's refresh. This one resists to be deleted apparently. So I'm gonna check that once the source code is on GitHub. I'm gonna see what's going on. It should delete it. That's the problem when I change things at the very last minute.
That's
Anyway,
totally fine. I just wanted to clarify. So you have 4 different buttons: R for refresh, D for delete, O for open, and P for apply. So just pressing those keyboard shortcuts, you can just do specific things to an email.
yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And okay, let's me do. So I want to press O for compose. So I can compose an email now. I can type here to my Gmail account. And this is an email from Textual. Here you can see that I have 4 lines. As far as I know, and Will, the creator of Textual, can correct me if I'm wrong, there's no component for like multi-line. So if I write something like we're on a live stream and I press enter, there's no multi-line. So I need to jump into the next line. And at the very end, I'm just going to concatenate this. I'm going to wrap it, and I'm going to send an email. You should see us live. And here, greetings, black. And I'm going to send it. So I can either press the send button or I can press S on my keyboard. So I'm going to press send. It should send the email. Perfect. So let's go to my Gmail account. And there we go. We have the email here. We're on a live stream. You should see us live. Greetings, Black. Supposedly this should have like a garbage return. Didn't work for some reason. Again, me changing things at the very last time doesn't help all the time. But let's reply to this email that we couldn't delete. So I selected. They want to grab some lunch with me. I actually don't want to, so I'm gonna reply and say, sorry, bro, not hungry today. Neither tomorrow, just in case. I can be very persistent too. You can see I'm just sending emails to myself from one account to the other. So I'm gonna send this reply.
Yeah, I also did notice you have shortcuts for send and cancel, S and C. I really love the terminal interface for sending emails. I think it's such a clean interface to use and go through emails.
Yep, and here you can see my response. Sorry, bro, not hungry today, neither tomorrow. So we have read emails, we have compose emails, we have replied to them. We couldn't delete them for some reason that it's making me kind of angry right now. I'm gonna stop sharing just because I want to take a really quick look at what went wrong. So probably we can have that delete going right now. Just give me a second. Let me say come up. We have some time still. Well, actually, this is pretty funny. Should have done that. Oh, I see. I think this is it. Let me try real quick. First, I'm gonna share my screen for sure. Wanna see? Okay, this is where I feel bad. Okay, that's probably gonna take a little bit more time than we have right now.
No worries, that's totally fine. You're going to share the code sample afterwards as well. And live coding or live streams are always challenging, as we know, getting everything right in the first go.
Yeah, that's right. So let's mention that don't forget we do live streams every Wednesday and Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Pacific time. That's right?
Yep.
Cool.
Twice a week, Wednesday and Friday. Tune in. We'd love to have you join us for the live stream, and as well to watch afterwards. You can catch all our videos on LinkedIn and YouTube. And as well, we share quite a few videos in our blog posts. So go ahead and check out our blogs as well when you get a chance. Nylas.com/blog, where we publish at least every week on a lot of different topics. And I'm really looking forward to trying this out. So I may grab your code sample and play around with it now that I'm spending a bit more time with Python. But I also encourage everyone else to take a look and see at the different ways you can interact with email. And that's something we've been exploring quite a bit on this live stream.
Totally. So let me share my screen again so we can review the source code.
Yeah, let's take a look
real quick. So here's our source code. So we have a lot of dependencies. As always, we're going to import .env for our secret. We're going to import Rich, which is kind of like the technology behind Textual. So I think Rich was first. It was to kind of like give color to the terminal, and then Textual is like adding components and buttons and everything. So here we're gonna add a lot from Textual. So like screen binding, data table, label headers, and everything that we're gonna use. Also, we're importing Beautiful Soup, which is a tool that allows us to do kind of like web scraping, but also like get rid of HTML styles and things like that that usually we find on emails. Text wrap is to actually, like grab something that is very long text and just wrap it around in like 50 columns or something like that. So what we're gonna do first, and probably I need to make my screen a little bit bigger. We're gonna load our secrets. Then we're gonna initialize our Nylas API client. And here we're gonna create a header for the data table. So we want to have like date, subject, and from. We're gonna have some variables because this is the way we can actually share between the screens. So we're gonna need the message ID. We're gonna need a dictionary for labels, so we can actually send something to the trash. And here we're gonna read an email. So when we grab our mailbox and we click on one of the emails, we're gonna grab that ID and we're gonna send it to the messages Nylas endpoint. So we're gonna be able to read just that particular email. Once we have read that, we're gonna use Beautiful Soup to just remove everything that is styles, script, whatever else that is gonna make our email not look that nice. Also, we're gonna do text wrap. So we want only each line to have 75 characters, so it doesn't go all the way to the back. And then here, we're gonna say that when we are reading an email, we want to mark it as read. So it's green when we haven't read it. It's gonna become white when we have read it. Here we're gonna read only the 5 first messages on our mailbox, and just because of our demo. I can just remove this limitation, and it's gonna read like 100, 1,000, whatever emails we have. I just wanted to have 5. And actually, I'm not looking on the inbox. I'm just looking on a label or a folder I create for demos, just to not share, obviously, my personal email. So here I'm gonna clean the table. I'm gonna define again that I want date, subject, from, and read. We're gonna go through all the emails because I want to grab the name and who's the email of the person sending the email. I want to grab the time, and I want to grab the first 50 characters of the subject because sometimes the subject can be pretty long, so I don't want that. This one here, this email class, is going to be considered the main screen. So this is the one that is going to show the emails that we have. And here on the bindings, we're saying like refresh is going to be R, send is going to be S, C is going to be cancel, D delete, O compose, and P reply. You can see here that this couple here, send and cancel, are defined, but they are defined as show false. So what happens is that we need to use the same bindings on all screens, but not all screens are going to have send and cancel. So we can simply not show them, and they are not going to work. Here, we're going to populate a table. So we're going to call the get messages function, which is going to go and grab the first 5 emails of our mailbox. We're going to say that that's going to go into our data table. We define that the cursor type is going to be rows because we want to be able to interact with it. And here we're going to say that if the email is unread, we want it to be bold and also green. Otherwise, we just wanted to add it. That's why we have the first 2 as white and the first 3 or the last 3 as green. This one here is when we load the components on the screen. We want to have a header, which is going to have the title. We're going to have the footer, which is going to have all the available commands. We want the data table, and we also want a label. So just to demonstrate, so this one here is a data table, and this one here, where we can see the message, that's going to be the label. Then, when we have loaded those components, we want to fill up the data. So this one is going to just set up the containers or the components. They're going to be empty. So here we want to fill them up. Here is on data table row selected. So it's every time we click or we do a return on each of them, what is going to happen is going to grab the label, it's going to read the email, and it's going to put the information of the email here. So like if right now it's the one for lunch, if I select the first one, it's going to go grab the text and replace it here on the label. Here's the funny part of the delete email. I don't know why it didn't work. So basically here we're grabbing the ID message, and we're just changing the label to be trash. That should be enough to move that from our folder into the trash. I think I know what happened.
Is it already moved to the trash?
No, so what happened is that these guys are not on my inbox. They're on a folder called for demos.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
applying the trash, but I'm not like cleaning everything else. So I
Gotcha.
think getting trash, but also getting for demos. It did work when they were on the inbox, but I cannot show here my real inbox. So that's why it's gonna work. So don't worry.
Gotcha.
It's gonna for sure work. And let me actually let me do this here. So when we want to compose a new email, we want to push a new screen, which is gonna be compose email. When we want to refresh, we want to call this function populate table, which is just basically gonna go and grab the latest 5 emails and just repopulate the table. For the reply, we want to push a new screen, which is called reply. So here we have the reply screen. As we can see, we're gonna repeat the bindings. We're gonna repeat the footer, the header, and here we're gonna have an input for who's sending the email, the title of the email, the body, which you can see if I do this. This is the email, the title, the content of the email. And here we're going to have kind of like first, second, third, fourth rows, which are this one here, where I can actually put my response. And we're going to have the buttons for send and cancel. So this one is kind of the same. I don't want to just keep dragging and dragging more the live stream on showing every single line of code. So maybe that's mentioned that, for example, here, this shouldn't work. I mean, if I'm on reply, delete shouldn't work. Compose shouldn't work either. So I just simply call in the function, but I'm just saying a pass. So if I press here the P, nothing is going to happen because I cannot reply an email that I'm already replying. And then we just run the application, and that's it. So we're a little bit over the top.
I thought it was really cool. I know some parts of the demo were a bit challenging, but just having a CLI for email makes a lot of sense, especially for someone that spends a lot of time in CLI, either doing Git commands or just kind of going between different repos. Just being able to check your emails would be pretty cool. But also, I can't help to think about different ways to theme the app that you made, because I see a lot of CLI themes, and I think it'd be also cool if you could bring in different themes to kind of add more color.
No, yeah, I mean, it was a really fun project. I mean, I really enjoyed working with Textual. It was just a complete different experience, but it was awesome. It was not easy, but you can see that it's working. I can actually read my emails, I can reply them, I can delete them, so I can do a lot of things. So that's awesome. And I think that's all for now. Just don't forget that we have SDKs for Ruby, Node, Python, and Java. And I think that's it. Thanks, everyone. Hope you like it. Just as always, let us know what you want to see on the show. If you would like to be a guest, we're more than happy to get your feedback. All right. Thanks, Ran. Always happy
Thanks,
to see you.
Vlog. That was awesome.
Hey, take care.
Bye.